Thank you, Dad, for always being there for me day after day and being my first best friend. You were the type of man to put family before anything and doing whatever was necessary to make sure we had a happy life. Thank you for all the unconditional love, the contagious laughs, and the days where I needed you the most. You'd be right by my side.
When I think of my dad, even my friends who knew him say that there's nothing bad you can say about him. My dad was everything. He was funny, he was smart, he was kind. But I think the one thing I would want to take with me and learn from my dad was that no matter who they were, or even if my dad never met them, he would greet everyone he met like he knew them his whole life and make them feel right at home. He had such a warm and kind heart. Now that my dad is gone, it's time for me to carry on our last name, and I'll be the man he wanted me to be.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a special episode that we put together and as a remembrance for my brother Michael. And last year we did a remembrance video, and it was where we had a lot of people that were close to him. They got to share, and then we went in and out with different videos of his life and stuff. And this one, I just felt that it's a little more real. It's going to be 2 years. Well, it is 2 years now. It's 2 years, and I felt like I run into a lot of people that are always asking me how am I dealing with it or stuff. So I figured, why not bring on a professional, and I'll let him introduce himself, a professional therapist, to actually go through the motion, and I'm able to let myself be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you guys, learn from this in a sense of I guess, what, therapy or something?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't really understand what therapy is. Therapy is about making sure that we are in a safe enough environment where we can be vulnerable. There is no judgment. People can express themselves however they feel that they need to, because we have to understand that grief is different for everyone.
Right.
Some people cry it out. Some people, take it out at the gym. Other people take it out through adrenaline. So grief is different for everyone, and we want to make sure that there's a safe enough environment for anyone who's grieving to go through the motions.
So real quick, just introduce yourself, because I want them to let you know that I did sign a waiver. I signed a waiver because he is a professional.
Yes, so you did sign a confidentiality waiver. My name is Adam Castro. I am a licensed therapist in the state of California. I have a master's degree in clinical psychology from the University of Redlands, and I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. I work with everyone from teenagers and young adolescents all the way up to older generation folks. So I'm a certified trauma therapist as well. Okay. So I deal with everything from, minor traumas that people might be experiencing, or just someone that needs somebody to talk to, all the way up to, significant traumas that involve military, police, and everyone in between. Nice.
So basically we're going to, I don't know how sessions start and stuff, but, yeah, we're going to,
So generally the way a session would start was, we'd come in and I'd introduce myself and you introduce yourself, and then I would basically ask you to tell me about yourself and why you're here.
Oh.
That's basically the way it starts, and then we just go from there.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So I don't know.
So why don't you tell me about your brother? Tell me about the first thing you remember about him, and what the most impactful things were about him.
Like young or just
wherever you want to start.
Whatever I remember, huh?
Yeah, whatever you want to start.
I don't know why, but I feel like I'm already getting emotional. But well, dang, you haven't even like talked to me. But I guess because it's close. Well, today we're kind of filming a little before, but it's close. But my brother, I guess I love the fact of how he always supported me. Like anything I did, he wanted to support me, or he wanted to be there with me.
Right.
From the party crews back in the day to even when we were kids playing baseball to just school. Me and him were very, very close, just growing up, like real close. Like I know some brothers, because there's 3 of us and stuff, and then we have a sister, and then actually we have a half sister and brother as well, and but him and I were very close, because of age. I'm the oldest, and then he's just about maybe a year, but less than a year from me, and so just kind of doing everything together. So I guess the support,
Okay.
of him just always wanting to do everything that I was in, so it's kind of cool.
So he was a little bit younger than you, right?
Almost a year.
Okay.
But-
Did he like kind of follow you around type of like youngster? I know growing up in the 90s, it kind of was the thing that happened.
Yeah. Like he did his own thing. He always did his own thing. But at the same time, like anything, I went to church. He went to church. I was in a play for my church. He was in the play for the church. I was in a party crew. He was in the party crew, and he got into the party crews, and I got him into the party crews. And then then I was doing concerts and stuff, and then he would help me with the concerts and stuff. So it was just I don't take it as him following me. I take it as him, like, I want to support my brother, So that's how I take it. Because I know some people might take that word following, like, because my brother was he was a leader. So I don't consider him following me, but I considered him like always wanting to support, make sure that I support my brother, type thing. So that's how I looked at him. So that's the most, I guess, impactful thing in my life that I don't know, I get from everything, that his support for me,
Okay. Tell me about your most fondest memory of him. What is the thing that you remember the most about him?
Of what's impacted me now, or
Just in general. Like,
in general?
I know earlier you were telling me he was kind of a jokester and liked to make people laugh. So like, tell me about a time where he did that. And you just
with me and him, man, it's always toppers. For Christmas, for my mom's birthdays, for anything, even to the point where I go on vacation, he has taught me, or I'm like, oh, what? He went there? Oh, shoot, we're going to do this. So, but we knew we were doing that to each other. So it was our game with each other, even the Christmases, getting the most craziest gifts to one another, and stuff, just to try to. And then he would just go over the line where my mom and everybody had to leave the room, because he would just go over the line on the gifts and stuff of, just of competing and who can outdo who. So that's him being a jokester to me, like him being a jokester. But I guess the thing that stands out the most, that hurts me the most, I guess, not hurts, but I can't get it out of my mind. Because I didn't know it was the last time I was going to see him. We went on vacation. We'd never done it. And all 3 brothers of us, we went on vacation to our family. And it was like the last night or something, and I was like, I gotta go, bro, you know what? So he walked us out. But he didn't want me to leave. So he was like, come on, bro, come on, like hugging me and getting me. And then as I was like, got in my car, got the girls in the car, and we're about to drive off, he's leaning up against the car. And I just took it like, I don't know, I pictured like we were kids. Because he was like Like, you're leaving me. But I was like trying to be the bigger one, like, dude, it's late, bro. We gotta go, you know? We're done. And I guess that's what hurts me, because he was begging me to stay. But I left. You know, I left. And that was it. After that, you know, you hear that, and I was like, so I guess that, you know, I don't know, it kind of hurts, you know. I should have stayed, or those. I guess because of that, it puts it like where there's been multiple times where he's done that to me, but then I'll be like, no, I'm leaving, you know, I'm leaving, and stuff. And, you know, you reflect on that stuff.
So what was different about this time compared to the other times where he's, you know, made those faces and said, hey, don't leave me, and said to stay? What was different about this time?
It was my last time. And that was it. And I guess because, like, he was just being him, like, hey, stay, bro. And yeah, I guess too, because before he passed, I was getting ready, and I was brushing my teeth and stuff, and I started remembering the vacation, and I laughed, like, oh man, it was fun. I'm gonna call him, but then I didn't call him. So to me, I guess that's the whole thing, because then like a day later, that's when it happened. So it kind of like went from there to there. So it was like more of the last. So yeah.
Do you think that there's some guilt associated with not staying? Do you feel like
Yeah.
that guilt of not staying there for him or with him?
Yeah, the guilt of I guess the guilt of I'm the older brother, and he's over here showing more like and I'm like, you know, trying to be the hard one. I guess that's the guilt of I should have like you know, opened up a little more, you know. Not saying that we don't, but I don't know. It's weird, because sometimes you know, brothers get like, what's up, dude, you know. But then when you're drinking and stuff, you're kids again, because there's just the wall goes down, and you know, you're just being kids and stuff.
It's interesting how we will utilize a substance like alcohol to kind of allow ourselves to be more vulnerable, when in reality we don't need that. We can be vulnerable in those moments with our family, especially our brothers. I mean, our brothers know a lot of stuff about us.
Yeah, I know.
You know, they know a lot of things. They've kept a lot of things secret. But it's also interesting that the guilt that we feel when it is the last time, and oftentimes, if they were here with you right now, what do you think he would say if he saw you talking about him, remembering, and all those types of things? What do you think he would tell you right now?
Well, I've had multiple dreams. So one dream was very realistic, where I don't even think it was a dream. I mean, I am a Christian and stuff, but it was just too damn real. Where I'll explain it to you real quick. I was laying in bed watching TV, and I dozed off. But I woke up, and because he would always come to the room, my room. You know, wake up. You know, I was doing stupid stuff. So but he walked in, and he just reached over, and he said, "I love you. I'm proud of you." And then, you know, I just cried, but then when I woke up, I was still crying, but everything was the same scenario. TV's on, everything was the same, as if I was, everything looked the same. So I was like, whoa, what was that? What the hell was that? Because I literally felt like seeing him, and where I was like what were you doing? Because I knew, but then and everything was the same, but he wasn't there.
Right.
I mean, saying exact the same. So, in all my dreams I'm having of him, he just keeps telling me he's proud of me. You know, because everything I'm doing right now, I do that for him. You know?
And everything you've done in your life, he's supported.
And he's supported. And I feel he's still supporting me because a lot of the people I meet and doors that are opening up for what I'm doing, somehow, some way, they'll see the tattoo or they see something and they said, I met your brother. Like, how the hell did you meet my brother? I don't know, man, but it was this event. And remember, man, he was cool, man. He was cool. And it's like, what the hell? And I feel like he's still supporting me. Like, literally, like, the doors are still, like, he's opening doors. And it's weird. It's a trip, man. It's a trip.
It's interesting, though. We often we say that, like, it's weird, it's a trip, but your brother had an impact in the community.
Yeah.
Just as much as you're having one now. So what makes it so weird? I think it's more of a meant to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he supported you your whole life, he was always there to support you. Why wouldn't, spiritually speaking, why wouldn't he still be supporting you from there, from the afterlife?
Yeah.
From anywhere else?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, they said, do you think your brother's opening these doors for you? I go, I didn't even hesitate. I said, yeah. Before I probably, if he was alive, like, hell no, I'm doing this myself. I'm really doing crap for me. Because that's just the pride, but, of course, like, now, yeah, it's like, yeah, a lot of the doors because of him, man. A lot of the doors because of him. So I get to meet a lot of good people, a lot of good people out there because of him.
So going back to your dream, you had said that it was realistic, like he was there, he was saying he was proud of you. What other dreams have you had that were similar or that you had another experience with?
Just dreams of him and I it's always hanging out. And but then I realized I'm dreaming. Like either we're hanging out, we're doing something, whether it's at my grandmother's house, which she passed away, but that's where we kind of lived a lot growing up. So usually it's there, or we get to a destination or something, and then I literally look at him and I go, like, cause I guess I realize, but every dream is like that. I realize that, like, wait, I know you're gone, and I just start crying. And then he just like comforts. But then I wake up because I realize, like, I guess how you sometimes you realize in your dream, like, wait a minute, I'm dreaming, like, and I'm like, and then in my dream, in my mind, I'm like, you're dead, and I'll just start crying, and then I'll try to take that moment real quick, but yeah, they're mostly at my grandmother's house. We were kids, but he's always, but I remember him always in the past. Nothing like now. It's always no tattoos, nothing. Like he's just Michael. Just Michael, just chilling. But we're always laughing or joking and hanging out. Just literally hanging out, doing something. I'm trying to remember, but most of them, yeah, just hanging out. But then I realize right away, so I try to grab the moment.
So when you're in this dream state, he's younger.
Yeah.
Like early teens, late teens. Because you said no tattoos, so I'm wondering how old do you think he is?
No, I think like we're like, if I give an age, maybe in the 20s. Okay. But he still had tattoos, but there's no but he's just, there's nothing though.
Do you think he was more, do you think you remember him that way because he was more innocent, because he was more open? Do you think you guys were closer at that time than you guys were later on in life?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Because towards the end, he was doing a lot of, he was doing, I guess he found his place and what he wanted to do and stuff. So, but we would still do a lot of stuff with our girls, 'cause our girls are very close. And so we would do stuff and pick up right where we left off, because we never, us being mad at each other is like, he'll be mad for a second, then be like, hey, you want to go get something to eat? Yeah, let's go. And you just go get something to eat. That's it. You know, it's not, sorry, bro. This is, hey, food, hey, yeah, dude, let's go. All right, let's go. And so it's but yeah, I guess towards the end, we always knew we love each other, because, I mean, we call each other on the phone, you know, we still talk and stuff, but he was doing his thing. He found what he liked to do it towards the end, and he was doing it, and I was doing my thing. So maybe towards the end, yeah, we kind of, you know, the love is still there, but you know, like how we were, yeah, probably a little more less than before.
Do you think that you've accepted his passing? And I mean truly accepted it, not just like I realize it is there. Consciously, I realize that he's not here. Truly
I think so.
accepted.
Sometimes no.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard.
Okay. What's so hard about it? What's the most difficult part about it?
I guess having to move on. You know, because everybody like, oh, you know, you'll heal, or we even talked about, you know, the guilt of not remembering. I guess I want to make his I don't know. I just want him to be remembered, you know, and I guess I don't want the. I guess I don't want to accept it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know answer. And
That's a very common answer. So, acceptance is not something that we come to easily, right? It's actually really difficult to come to acceptance, especially with the loss of a loved one, especially the loss of a loved one who's really close.
mm-hmm.
And as we described, we were talking the other day, you know, that whole idea of time heals all wounds, it's false, because time just lessens our emotional response to it. You know, ultimately, being able to remember somebody is what keeps that memory alive, whether
Right.
it's us, whether it's an individual, whether it's, you know, on the internet for the rest of eternity, right? That's what keeps the memory alive. And having to accept that someone is actually gone, oftentimes we think, okay, their memory's going to fade. That's also not true. As long as there's one person to remember that individual, their memory's there.
Yeah, I think it makes it hard too, because you know, we started the apparel company, so we have MIKEY, boy, everything. So like people are like, why do you do it? So it's like, you tell them why you're doing it. You know, I do it because I want to remember my brother and what he's done and the people and keep his name alive and him alive. So, you know, I guess yeah, I guess that's why we haven't accepted it. You know, you know, it's just. You know, or you know, a lot of people say that what I try to do is I try to stay busy, which I do. I try to stay busy so I don't try not to remember it. I try to bury it, you know, and then somebody will play a video, or you know, and just like you just, you know.
So yeah, burying is never going to help. It doesn't help, right? We try to suppress a lot of things. It comes up in different ways, and it actually causes more stress and more harm to us than actually working through it. You know, when we think about loss, we try to remember the good times. We try to remember all the stuff that happened, the great things, and we don't, you know, negatively talk about somebody who's passed on. But we have to also understand they were human, just like us.
Yeah.
They made mistakes. We make mistakes. We all do. There was some times where we, you know, may have not have gotten along or may have had disagreements, and those are okay.
Yeah.
Right? We have to be able to remember those things as well. But oftentimes what we do is, you know, we try to give this idea that everything is good, everything is great. And we're suppressing so much of it that we're not really addressing what's happening. So when something like that happens, a video gets shown or something triggers a memory or a smell or something like that happens, the emotional response we have is just overwhelming.
Right.
And then as males, oftentimes what we do is, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to drive on. Well, that's just another form of suppression.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and ultimately we have to be able to let it out.
Yeah.
You know.
I try, man. But like I think I showed you over the phone too. My family really never see me cry, so and I don't know why. I mean, sometimes I just try to harbor. I don't know, we're men, so I don't want people to see me, weak or. But then, yeah, I just couldn't hold it when my brother passed. I had to tell my wife, I go, hey, you're gonna have to carry the girls for now. I know they're crying, but I can't.
Right.
And then they came in the room and they hugged me, and I told them, I said, I can't. Daddy can't take care of you right now. I know you're crying. I can't take care of you. You go, oh, I understand, Dad. I understand. And because it was like, and I think that was the first time I even told my wife, like, I've never seen Dad. Like, they knew because, Dad's crying. I never seen him cry. So, yeah, it was, I guess this hit hard too because, you expected, you and your brothers to grow old and stuff. And, like, I'll be sad. I'll be sad, but I'll be crying too and hurt if my mom or somebody, that's older than me passes away. Like my grandma passed away. It did hurt me in a way, and I did cry too. My wife got to see me, because my grandma broke me. But I guess when you're younger and people are older, you kind of expect that, but not us. You know what I mean? Like you're like, what? Whoa! I was like, whoa, this is not supposed to happen,
right?
So I guess that was the shock of everything, I guess that's what hits home harder and stuff. So
the expectation is, the older you are, you expect, our parents to pass and our grandparents to pass. Like we that's part of, human nature. That's going to happen. We know that. We can come to acceptance a lot easier when my, 97-year-old grandmother passes away. It's like, she had a great life. I accept that.
Exactly.
When my younger brother passes away, that's unexpected. It's like something was ripped from you. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, because in your mind you have things planned out. So it was just like, it was a trip. Yeah, it was crazy. And then now I understood people, like, it was crazy because then I've gone to other funerals after that, and then you see yourself in them in the sense of like, keeping yourself busy through the whole time that you're going to do the funeral and everything. So you don't really, but then after when everything's done, you're like, oh shoot, because there's no more rush.
Yep.
And stuff. So it was, and then seeing other people, me and my wife would be like, wow, that was us. Because they're like, hi, and hey, and you're just like, when this is over, it's gonna kill them. Because you already knew it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's the thing about vulnerability is that we put on this brave face for everyone else. We put on this face of like, okay, I got to get all this stuff organized. I got to keep busy. I got to make sure I have everything, where it should be. And then ultimately when you're alone, when you're by yourself and you have just you and your thoughts, everything comes out. Everything will come out. All the reality will start to hit. The, understanding of what's actually happening. The mask that we put on, that brave face will come off. And when that happens, there's a rush of emotions.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, man.
Yeah.
That happens a lot and stuff. But yeah.
Okay. So tell me about when you found out. What happened? What did you feel? What did you experience?
When I found out, I was like, well, of course, it happened early morning, so I was sleeping. But, I had to tell, I basically, well, I kind of didn't believe it, so I called his phone. And I was like, oh, hell no, dude. And I was like calling his phone and stuff. And then I went to my sister-in-law's house, his house. And then that's when it was like, I still didn't accept it. You know, so then I was calling my friends that are CHP and stuff, and I was trying to find out where you know, like, where is he, you know? And then one of my friends, he said, hey, your brother's still on the freeway. So I jumped in the car, me and another friend, and we drove there. And I mean, we drove crazy and got in there and went through the whole thing. We didn't care. We went right up to the thing. And where the CHP came to me and they were like, you know, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. You know, get in your car. And I go, that's my brother, man. And they're like, no, we told all the guys they need to go. And then after I go, no, that's my brother. And then the guy goes, no, he's family. This is his brother. And then they go, so I try to go where he was at, but they wouldn't let me. And they said, no, you can stay right here. You stay right here, man, just because, you know, if anything happens, we're liable, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. But I just felt like if I went to him, so I basically got to see my brother, man, until they took him away. And yeah, I got to see, they let me stay until they took him and stuff. So I mean, then it hit me. Then that's when it hit me, because seeing what you see, you know, you're just like, wow. You see it in movies and stuff, you know, but just right here, you know. So yeah, it was. That's when it kind of hit me a little bit more. And then everyone's calling me, asking me if it's real, or are they lying. And so that's what was happening at that moment.
Can I point something out to you right now?
Yeah.
So earlier you had said that you kind of accepted, you're not really accepting it or whatever, right? And you also said you wanted to be vulnerable, right? I am noticing that you are holding back a lot of emotional responses. There's a lot of emotion that wants to come out that you're just like, no, I'm gonna let it sit in there, kind of suppress it out. Especially when you were just talking about your brother, about what you saw, what you experienced. You could see it in your face. Your affect changed, your body language changed, your voice changed.
Yeah.
And then you just jumped over some parts to what you saw.
Yeah. Wow, because I just felt at that moment, if I would have cried out his name, he would have woke up. Because he would have been like I said, that's how he was. If I was hurt, he is like, I'm the bigger brother, but he would want to be the one. So I just felt, if I said, Michael, and then they would have let me, I think, I don't know, he would have woke up. I don't know why. I just feel that really bad. Because I just knew how much, like, our bond is, you know. And so that's why I kind of skipped it, you know, because I kind of regret not, well, I tried, but I regret not yelling his name. And, you know, so, you know, not a lot of people know I was on the freeway with him, so but I was there too. They took him. So yeah. That's why I kind of skipped that part. Yeah.
You know why I wanted you to bring that out?
No.
Those are the type of vulnerabilities that we need to have in order to move through. Again, we're not trying to get over. We're trying to move through trauma experiences so they do not continue to dictate how we live currently.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some of those things can hold us back. We don't want them to. We want them to help us move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. That's why I pointed it out. That's why I wanted to let you know, like, this is what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, do I have my moments? I'll cry. But just, yeah.
Okay. So, after all of that happened, after the funeral, after everything was done, what happened after all that?
I felt, I didn't really do anything. I even had talked with my wife, and not too long ago, I just said, I didn't do anything. I didn't have a drive to really pursue anything. I felt like I lost my, I call it the mojo. I lost it because his passing knocked me off my horse. Where I kind of was on a path of doing certain things, and then when that happened, it was just it changed everything, and I could feel now I'm barely getting my drive back, but it's been barely, because people ask me why. There's so much you could do, but you're not doing it. Blah, blah. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But sometimes I'll just be home. That's it. No, I don't have to do all these things, but I don't know. I just won't do it, dude. So I don't know. I'm trying to break that right. That's what I'm trying to break right now. Because after that, I kind of I don't know. Was just flowing with life, I guess.
Okay.
I just didn't have a drive at the moment. I'm gonna flow with this right here. This is happening right now. I'm just gonna flow with it and stuff. So that's after everything settled. That's where I was at. That was it.
And how long did that period last?
I believe for about a year. On his first anniversary, I finally just said to myself, I don't know, I had a weird experience. I just said, what are you doing? There's so much you could be doing, but what are you doing? And I just said, so I started quickening myself and stuff. But that feeling still comes back where I don't consider it laziness. I get in a funk. But I'm kind of breaking it a little bit more. I could feel it. I could feel it. But about a year. It took about a year where I had a little trigger, and it was a weird trigger. I was just like, what the hell am I doing?
Tell me about that moment. What was happening? I mean, you said it was right around the year of his passing. So, what was happening at that time in your life?
I guess I was at a place where I was just where I needed to. I was like, how could I explain it? Where my well, everything I was doing at the moment, I knew. That this was my brother, and it wasn't me. But I could understand what my brother loved. But I know that I wanted, if I'm going to be able to do something and keep his name alive, I have to do something. And I knew I had the capabilities of doing something. So that's why I kind of like, I'm not doing it the right way, type thing, So that's that's where it's like. Believe me, I put a big funeral on for my brother. I put a big one. I told my little brother, I said, "Man, you don't know how to do crap, so I'm lucky if I get a good funeral."
Okay.
Because we went all out for my brother.
Right.
And I looked at my brother when I was young. I was like, "Oh, I'm doomed." Whatever funeral, damn.
Okay.
So
the whole idea was keep your brother's name alive, keep moving forward, and all that kind of good stuff. Right around a year of his passing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just something out of the blue kind of motivated you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself moving forward to over the next year?
I feel personally, or with my brother.
Well, with your brother, with your brother's memory, with all the stuff associated with him.
I feel that what I'm doing now, the whole podcasting that we're doing right now and stuff, and then from we started the Mikey Boy Apparel company. I believe the two are somewhat integrated. But at the moment, the show is really starting to elevate, and I believe as I put my focus onto the show right now at the moment, I'll be able to elevate it both together,
Right.
and because I believe, like a lot of people, they love that name, Mikey Boy. What are you wearing, Mikey Boy? Mikey Boy, Mikey Boy. And to me, my brother stood for, always stood for, like, I don't care. I'm gonna live my life, no regrets. Live your life. So to me, that's what Mikey Boy is, So now when I wear it, Mikey Boy, I feel like my brother's right. No regrets. You just live your life. Who cares what people think? Just do it, because I was always concerned about what people thought about me,
Right.
their perception of me, because of coming from church and stuff. There's a certain view that people have on me because I was gonna become a pastor and stuff. I was on my way of wanting to become one and stuff, and but then I didn't. But him just being able, that when I reflect on his life, I see that he lived free, not caring, but he helped a lot of people. That was his thing. He helped families. He loved to, he would, for his brothers, he would literally lend out his car, this and that, drop what he's doing and go help. So I got to see a lot. Like, oh, wow, this is all right. I saw his giving, even giving to families. He just loved to do a lot of stuff. He was a giver. My brother was a giver. And so elevating Mikey Boy and what we're doing together, that's my goal, is to eventually put it on a big platform.
Okay.
On a big platform. So when people ask, I can kind of look and still be like, hey. Because once in a while I'll post, we're still doing it. We're still making an impact together. That's how I view it. Mikey Boy and the show. We're still doing and making an impact together. And that's the overall goal, to continue that, that we're still creating that memories together.
Yeah. Sounds like you're doing a great job doing it. And as you described when you guys were younger, it seems like he's still very supportive. Like everybody you meet, people know him, people, opening doors for you. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. He was crazy, man. He was crazy, and because a lot of people tell me, people tell me, you better do this and that. If your brother was here, he would make you do it. And I'm like, no, he wouldn't. You got to see the brother that he allowed you to see. But I got to see and experience the real. Without the whole of what he wanted everyone else to see, I got to see him behind. And that's what people need to continue to like remember and understand, that that's the truth. I know my brother wouldn't make me do things. If anything, he kept me away from everything because he didn't want me to. No lie, he I think at some point he didn't want me to be around certain things because I believe he felt I would look down on him. Because I was still his older brother. And I wouldn't condemn him, but I would be like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
And he knows that. Because when he told me about certain things that were taking place, I didn't put him down, but I said, what the hell are you doing, bro? And he knows that, where we're at, that he's going to tell me something. And as brothers and growing up, I was going to tell him something. So I feel that he, that's the reason why he didn't tell me certain things and stuff. But I look at it as he respected me.
So, I mean, it also sounds like you were playing the role that you normally played, the older brother, kind of, hey, like, is this the right thing you want to be doing? Kind of questioning him a little bit. And it sounds like he had a lot of respect for you, saying, hey, I'm keeping you away from some of this stuff because, it's not for you or what, for whatever reason. Yeah.
But I got to meet a lot of great people because of him. And I know it's going to take a while, especially because we're doing a lot to keep his name alive. So it's going to always be fresh, I believe. But I guess it's just creating those new memories, of doing stuff together. Instead of reflecting on what I've lost, I can start reflecting on what we're building. Still,
Yeah.
Still together and stuff, So.
And in a couple of years, you look back at these memories like, hey, he was with me the whole time, still supporting me.
Yeah. But so what are some of the things that people like myself can do to because the biggest things, because I know we have to get going, but some of the biggest things is the why and the guilt, is that even myself and even family members go through is the why and the guilt.
So everything you basically described and what you went through is denial. This can't be true. It's not true. Anger, bargaining. Why couldn't it be me? Let it be me. Things like that. Depression.
Yeah.
That whole year of just not really having motivation. And ultimately we come to forms of acceptance. Now this is not a linear thing. This is a cylinder thing. It's a cylindrical thing. Because we experience these things over the course of time in different ways. We can come back to, like, I had a memory of my brother and, there's no way that he's gone, right? Denial again. So what we can do with all of these things, just understand that these things will happen. We are going to experience them, and they are okay to experience. Oftentimes what we try to do is we try to suppress them. We can't do that. We have to be able to experience them. Whether it's with other family members, alone, with your clergy, with whomever you feel the most safest and comfortable with. We have to be able to express them, to experience them. Ultimately, we will move to full-on acceptance where we know that this is true. We've accepted that this is true. We still love our family member, our lost loved one, whatever it is, and we'll still keep their name alive and still create new memories that are happy, that are accepting, that are loving, that are just, moving through that whole life like, yeah, this happened, I know this happened, I accepted this happened, and it did not stop me from loving this person, from moving forward with this person, from having the belief that this person is still supporting me wherever I am. So those are some of the things that we can do. Talking about it is definitely one of them. We have to be able to talk about these things. Preferably, I know this is a lot for some people, be vulnerable. That is one of the most difficult things to do, especially for males, especially Hispanic males. I understand that.
So what happens if I don't get vulnerable? What do you do?
So if somebody's not being vulnerable with me,
It's
like,
just more sessions, or
well, it just depends, right? Like therapy is how much work you're willing to put into it. Therapy is not like, hey, you just come to me and okay, you're good, right? It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of insight. It's a lot of self-reflection, and some people don't want to look in the mirror and say, hey, like you got to get your ass to work, right? We want to stay in that. Like I'm comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you're already giving up on yourself. You have to be uncomfortable. That's where we actually get to know who we are as people, as an individual, and then if we know ourselves, we can give ourselves to others. That's really hard to do.
yeah.
Right? Most importantly, we have to know who we are. If I have no idea who I am, how can I ever be honest or 100% with you?
Like somebody told me too, they go, if you're not real with him, he's gonna catch you. And you caught me. I'm not lying. They did tell me that. I'm like,
it does happen, right? I have people come into my office all the time, and they'll straight up lie to me, and I'm like, okay, so we're just here to
Wow.
waste time, or like I because as a therapist, that's what I have to do. I have to be able to challenge you a little bit, but also what I want to do is I want to build that trust and to allow my clients to know that you're in a safe enough environment. There's nothing you're going to tell me that's going to shock me or that I'm going to judge you about. Right? I won't, because it doesn't help you. It doesn't make you feel safe. My goal is to make you feel safe enough to be vulnerable, to build insight, to grow as a person. It's the whole point of therapy.
no. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I try to talk a little bit with my brother and stuff, and it does feel good. I have to admit, yeah. I maybe I didn't get as vulnerable as if people thought I would, but you caught that. Yeah, I'm holding stuff.
And also, right, this is our first.
Yeah, it's the first initial meeting.
Yes. So, right, like initially, this is not the way this would go. These types of conversations wouldn't happen until the third, fourth, or maybe even fifth meeting.
Oh wow.
Yeah. First meeting is just, hey, who are you? Tell me about yourself. Next meeting is, okay, let's create a treatment plan. What is it you want to accomplish? Third meeting is, okay, let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this.
Wow.
And then that's when that therapeutic alliance is made, that's when I can really challenge some of my clients.
Wow.
And I do. And
Well,
I challenge them a lot, and I've had a lot of success.
oh, well, I have to admit, man, you're a good listener. You're a good listener. But no, thank you so much, man, for this, taking your time to come out and even and have me share a little bit. Are people able to contact you, or?
Yeah, so my website is afttherapy.com, and anybody can contact me there. I have a chat box there. I have a make an appointment session there. So we do all that stuff. I do all my things online with anybody in the state of California, because I'm licensed throughout the entire state. And I know that some people don't really feel comfortable going to a therapist, so they get to do it in the comfort of their own home, in the safety of their own home.
Wow.
And it's made it a lot easier for a lot of people to actually get therapy.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope, man, yeah, we'll definitely talk after. Maybe I don't know where I don't know where I would go from this, since we already jumped to the third step. So I don't know where we go. Okay, now I'm gonna move you back.
Well, again, remember this is we signed a waiver, so all this stuff is not actually happening.
No, it was for purposes of just allowing me to share about my brother and be even. And I'm always gonna share about my brother and let people know about him and do what we need to do. And I thank you, because as you did catch me in the thing and stuff, I got to realize certain things in my life at the moment, because I do analyze a lot of stuff too. I like to analyze a lot of stuff. So there's things I got to do too, that I know. Or do you suggest anything I got to do?
Well, I mean, honestly, I would always suggest therapy for anyone, and it doesn't really matter what they're dealing with. Therapy is a great tool for a lot of people who just need someone to talk to, who might feel like nobody's listening. It's always a great tool, because in therapy, they're not judging you. So no matter what you're saying, they're not judging you, right? So you can come in there and tell me, oh man, I really hate my spouse right now. can't really tell that to your spouse. Your spouse is going to be like, hey, like, what the hell? But you'd be able to tell me that. I wouldn't judge you. We would work through it, try to figure out where this is all coming from, because everything comes from somewhere, right? We don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I hate the world.
Mm-hmm.
Those things come from somewhere.
Yeah.
They come from experiences. So we have to figure out what the causality is, and then ultimately address it and move forward through it.
So real quick, we gotta go. But what do you think? Your real quick analysis of me, of how would you deal with me the next time? No, seriously, I'm being honest. Like,
so one thing I will not do is I will not diagnose you, simply because
we're on there. Okay.
We're on there, and waiver of confidentiality and all that kind of stuff. But what I would do is I would suggest maybe once a week meetings, going through a lot of some of the things that you were holding back, trying to get you to be as vulnerable as possible, and then ultimately try to get you to push through a lot of that experience, a lot of that stuff that you continue to hold down and you continue to suppress, and ultimately, move forward through it.
I like how you use that word, move forward, and stuff. Because some people say you need to move on, and moving on sounds horrible, but moving forward, because you got to move forward. It doesn't sound as hard. Because some people do, hey man, you got to learn to move on, man. Like,
moving on indicates that like this thing stays here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
But moving forward is I could move forward, but I could but yet grow.
Yeah, because this is still part of us, right? This is still part of our story. The story creates who I am in the future, and yet this is still part of my story. If I move on or if I get over, that means I leave this here, and I can't do that because it's part of me.
Wow, that's good. All right, well, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, man, and doing this with me. And I hope people get touched by this. I hope they get touched, and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.